When people talk about guilt, they make it sound like a shadow that follows you. But mine didn't follow, it lived inside me. For 6 long years, every laugh, every sunrise, every quiet evening reminded me of the man I betrayed and lost, Ethan. We'd been married for 8 years. He wasn't rich, flashy, or dramatic. He was kind. He'd wake up early just to make me coffee before work, even though he hated mornings. He'd leave me little notes in my lunch bag that simply said, "Don't forget you're loved." But back then, I didn't understand that real love wasn't supposed to feel like fireworks, it was supposed to feel like peace. And peace, I thought, was boring. So when my new manager, Lucas, came along with his confidence and expensive suits, I mistook excitement for something deeper. It started with lunches, turned into late-night texts, and ended in a mistake that destroyed everything. Ethan found out, not through me, but through a friend who saw us. He didn't yell or break things. He just packed a bag and said, "You already left long before I did." Then he was gone. I tried calling, emailing, even visiting his parents. Nothing. It was like he'd vanished from the face of the earth. Divorce papers came months later, signed but silent. I thought time would heal the wound, but guilt has its own clock, it never stops ticking. 6 years passed. Lucas was long gone, and so were most of my friends. I had the job, the house, the looks, but no peace. One night, sitting alone in my kitchen, I realized I didn't even remember the sound of Ethan's voice anymore. That's when I decided to find him, not to win him back, but to apologize. I hired a private investigator, Mark. He was an older man, quiet and methodical. I gave him all I knew, old addresses, phone numbers, even Ethan's workplace from years ago. He nodded, took notes, and said, "Sometimes closure isn't about answers, it's about accepting the truth." I didn't understand what he meant until much later. A week passed, then 2. Finally, my phone buzzed. It was Mark. "I found him," he said. My heart nearly stopped. "Can I see him?" I asked. There was a pause. "I think you should sit down." He met me at a small cafe. When he arrived, his eyes were soft but heavy. "Your husband, Ethan," he began, "lives about 40 miles away. He runs a small woodworking shop. He's married again." My stomach twisted. "He has a daughter, 4 years old." I tried to smile, but it trembled. "Good," I whispered. "He deserves happiness." But Mark didn't stop there. He slid a photo across the table, Ethan standing outside the shop, holding a little girl in his arms. His eyes looked the same, gentle and steady. Yet there was something else, peace. "He's doing well," Mark continued. "And he doesn't want to see you." My throat closed up. "Did he say that?" Mark nodded. He said, "Tell her I'm happy now. Tell her she doesn't need to look for me anymore." For a moment, I couldn't breathe. The cafe around me blurred. My hands shook as I stared at the photo. It hit me then, he'd built a life where my name no longer existed. I wasn't part of his story anymore. I paid Mark, thanked him, and went home. That night, I sat in the dark with the photo on my lap. I'd imagined 1,000 versions of finding him, maybe anger, maybe tears, maybe forgiveness. But not this, his complete peace without me. That was what truly broke me. Days passed. I tried to move on, but that image haunted me. Then, one evening, I drove to his town. I parked across from the woodworking shop, hidden behind tinted glass. I watched him through the window, helping a customer, laughing with his daughter. He looked alive. More than he ever did with me. And for the first time, I understood that leaving him was the worst decision of my life. Not because I lost him, but because I lost the version of myself who could have grown beside him. I didn't go inside. I just watched for a while, then quietly drove away. Halfway home, I pulled over and cried. Not the loud, dramatic kind of crying, but the silent kind that comes when you finally accept you're the villain in someone else's story. That night, I wrote Ethan a letter I'll never send. It said, "I'm glad you found peace. I'm glad someone else gets to wake up beside you and see what I was too blind to appreciate. I don't expect forgiveness. I just hope you know I finally understand the love you gave me." I sealed the letter and placed it in my drawer. Maybe one day, when I'm gone, Someone will find it and understand the kind of regret that doesn't fade with time. Sometimes, closure isn't about finding someone, it's about realizing they were never lost. You were.